1996 F1 World Champion Damon Hill says Sergio Perez's recent flat form could be due to the demoralizing realization his dreams of fighting his Red Bull teammate Max Verstappen for the crown this year are over. Checo won 2 of the first 4 races in Saudi Arabia and Azerbaijan. But while a qualifying crash in Monaco dented his confidence and put him on the back foot through to Canada, Hill told the sport's official podcast F1 Nation the Mexican can redeem himself in the remaining rounds.
I think that is very demoralising when you've got to accept that the good run of form is not going to last, and he's managed to lose ground so rapidly now on Max that the chances are that he's let's be honest, it's unlikely he's going to catch Max. Something really miraculous would have to happen. But then once you come to that acceptance of that, do the best you can with what you've got left.
Perez is now 81 points behind Verstappen after Austria. But Hill says he should focus on regaining confidence rather than closing the gap in the drivers' standings.
Monaco was a rush of blood to the head or something, and that's dented his confidence, I think, a lot. So he's now in a state of trepidation, and he is tentative. And at the moment you get in that position, then you're vulnerable.
F1 drivers want changes to Belgium's circuit Spa-Francorchamps following the death of 18-year-old Dutch driver Dilano van 't Hoff during last weekend's Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine round. Tragedy struck in wet conditions during the closing stages of Race 2, when a multi-car accident was triggered by Tim Tramnitz, who lost control of his car at the top of Redillon. We are devastated at the loss of one of our brightest Dutch talents, who brought so much energy to our team during the years he raced with us, said an MP Motorsport statement. Williams team boss James Vries says he'd consider building the future of the British squad around Alex Albon, who he says is underrated and a perfect benchmark for his teammate Logan Sargent. Albon joined Williams in 2022 following a year on the sidelines and 2 with Red Bull's teams, but he has since re-established himself at the former British powerhouse. And Vries, in an interview with F1's official podcast Beyond the Grid, says there's more to unlock.
He's got leadership qualities to him. There's areas where he and I talk about where I think he can do more in certain areas, but he's got what it takes to bring us forward as an organisation. As I said, for certainly the future from where I am at the moment, I hope he's very much a part of it.
Nyck de Vries' future at AlphaTauri continues to look uncertain, with Red Bull management unconvinced by the Dutchman and the team set to be rebranded next year. De Vries is one of just 3 full-time rookies this season, but the 28-year-old is yet to replicate performance shown at last year's Italian Grand Prix, when he subbed for an injured Alex Albon at Williams with no notice and scored 2 points on debut. Instead, De Vries has been behind teammate Yuki Tsunoda in 6 of the 8 races they've both finished. While change is coming at Red Bull's junior team from next year, with new management, sponsors, name and main hub shift to the UK to be closer to its Bicester wind tunnel. The brand's motorsport consultant Dr. Helmut Marko has also been a public critic, having stated last week Red Bull boss Christian Horner wasn't a fan of De Vries ahead of the decision to sign him. I would say at the moment it looks like he's right, Marko said. Williams is set to celebrate its mega milestone 800th Grand Prix at both Silverstone and Budapest, despite the statistic officially ticking over at the Hungarian round that marks the season's midpoint. Everything originally lined up for the team's 8th centennial festivities to be held at the British Grand Prix, but Imola's cancellation meant Williams' actual 800 rolled onto the Hungaroring. So the celebrations will now happen over 2 rounds, with a very special livery, iconic car demonstrations like the 1992 FW14B at Silverstone, and a fan zone on London's Regent Street. Austria has cemented its long-term place on the F1 calendar. With news last week, the Red Bull Ring will host the Austrian Grand Prix until at least 2030, care of a 4-year deal extension. The Spielberg track returned to the calendar in 2014, 10 years after Red Bull initially bought the circuit, with the brand investing 70 million euros into its refurbishment and many more on its events. The contract extension came just 1 year after the passing of Red Bull's visionary billionaire co-founder, Dietrich Mateschitz. Beating Max Verstappen in Austria was a tall order at the Red Bull Ring, with the reigning F1 world champion securing his 7th win from 9 races, his 5th straight on Sunday. But the squad leveled the playing field ahead of the race with a surprise visit for the Dutchman and AlphaTauri's diminutive pilot Yuki Tsunoda to an iron mine 45 minutes from the Styrian circuit. There, the pair were presented with branded monster trucks for a spin on a dirt course laid out at the bottom of the mine.
How cool is this?
Hopefully I can reach to the throttle. I mean,
I hope you can jump in.
I know.
With his feet barely on the pedals, Tsunoda showed caution in qualifying, while Verstappen threw it to the wind and secured pole. The race started with some car crushing. But the Dutchman's truck hit reliability issues, which allowed Tsunoda to sail through to victory.
Max was an amazing lap in the quali. He was 3 seconds ahead, and I felt, okay, I need to maybe push more throttle. And I had a good start, and I used that momentum until the end. And unfortunately, he had a bit of misfiring.
Verstappen, though, rated the monster truck experience.
To be honest with you, driving like so high, it was quite comfortable in a way. I mean, of course, when you start pushing it, it starts to be a little bit more uncomfortable, but that's exactly how it should be, right? But yeah, it's definitely a bit different to a Formula 1 car.
Pirelli hopes its past flexibility in adapting products to F1's ever-changing needs will hold it in good stead to beat Japanese rival Bridgestone to the sport's 2025-2027 sole tyre deal. Pirelli has supplied F1 since 2011, with product changes in 2014 for the hybrid power unit, wider tyres in 2017, and lower-profile 18-inch rubber from 2022 for more road relevance. But while its current contract will end next year, Pirelli's motorsport boss Mario Isola is confident the Italian firm's openness to change can help it re-secure F1's tyre deal for 2025 and beyond. I believe it's the right approach, he said. We already showed our ability to do that, and I hope this is taken into consideration in the evaluation of the supplier. McLaren is set to turn back the clock at British Grand Prix host Silverstone as part of its ongoing 60th birthday festivities, with news the Woking squad will bring back the fan-favorite iconic chrome scheme that featured on its cars from 2006 to 2014 as a one-off to celebrate partner Google. The reflective McLaren chrome scheme shot to fame in 2008 during Sir Lewis Hamilton's run to his maiden World Drivers' title, the same year that Google released its Chrome browser. The one-off livery sees the metallic finish hit the McLaren MCL60 across the engine cover, side pods, headrest and front wing, including end plates, with the car still retaining its papaya highlights across the nose, roll hoop and rear wing to complete its hybrid look. McLaren last ran chrome in 2014 at the dawn of F1's hybrid era, when 2009 world champion Jenson Button and Kevin Magnussen raced the Mercedes-powered MP429 to 5th in the constructors' standings. McLaren has run a number of one-off liveries in recent years, including its Triple Crown celebrations in Monaco this year, the OKX livery in Singapore and Japan last year, and its iconic Golf livery in 2021. Thanks for watching. To stay up to speed on all things Formula One, make sure you hit the subscribe button.